Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy. My guest today retired from the Washington Redskins in 2012 as their second all-time leading rusher. He played 9 years in the NFL and rushed for just under 10,000 yards in his career. Clinton Portis, thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So you became famous in your press conferences for these different characters that you would play. And I think, listen, you're going to be known forever for your numbers, but those characters were something too. Where did this start?
I think the fame came before the characters, way before the characters. But
okay.
The characters coming out was really just personality. I think it was being in the locker room that needed uplifting, that needed some joy, because we were supposedly written off, and we had just lost to the San Diego Chargers, and I think we were 3-5 on the season, and everyone was like, they're done. And you know, guys was kind of moping around and sad and feeling like another losing season, and me just playing around, you know, trying to entertain the guys, trying to keep them into it. One day the cameras caught it, and it was a rain day. The cameras caught it, and it was like, what are you doing? So I was just being funny, and we go out and win the game. And the next week, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do it again, because I had 3 costumes. So I do it again, and we win the game. And now all of a sudden, I wake up and see it on CNN, and it's national news, and I'm like, what the, you know? So it was just something that took off.
Okay, so I want to run through a few of these characters that you had. Just tell me like where you came up for that with them, the names of these guys. Ready for this? I hope you remember them all. Okay. This was nice. This was a nice wig. Got the heart sunglasses.
So that was Kid Bro Sweets. When you look at that, it was actually a bunch of my teammates standing around as well. I think it was like 2 of my teammates underneath my coat passing out candy when I opened it up. So that wasn't an original costume. The Redskins went out and got that because it was like such a huge media day.
The Redskins got this for you. Yeah,
they sent an intern out, and I mean, every character after the initial 3 was either sent in from fans, or the Redskins interns went out and got them, or my teammates' wives and girlfriends sent it in. So we had so much stuff this day. I think I had like 7 or 8 teammates with me.
So did you give them the inspiration for what you wanted, or you just took what they gave you and you made a character out of it?
I just took what they gave me and made a character out of it.
It's creative.
The pads underneath was spiders. You know, that's what we practice in.
Yeah.
The coat, I have no idea where that coat came from. It was the stuff that they gave me.
That is one special wig. Who's this guy?
Sheriff Gonna Get You. He was on the track for Southeast Jerome Killer. So Southeast Jerome thing was New York, the Giants game. So Sheriff Gonna Get You was on the hunt for Southeast Jerome and how he came up missing. And
this guy.
The character that started it all, Southeast Jerome. He came up missing, so that's why Sheriff Gonna Get You was on the hunt. So
you could have like rescued yourself with this character. You had a whole story going on.
That was the original character. Yeah, I should have turned it into like a story.
You could have.
It's not too late.
You went to the University of Miami. You won a national championship there. What do you remember most from that time?
Coming into the University of Miami with the likes of Philip Buchanan and Andre Johnson, Vernon Carey, Vince Wilfork, all guys that I graduated high school with and came in that helped change the U, not to mention the guys that were already there and established. When you look at Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne and Ed Reed, you know, having the luxury of playing with those guys, understanding their standard of play and being able to compete and add on. It was just spectacular because we competed in everything. Like who got into the cafeteria first in basketball and weightlifting, like the battle runs when we had our off-season training, it was like strict competition. And you would have your 1 or 2 guys that you kind of did things with, but you competed against them as well.
So you were drafted by the Broncos, and you played the majority of your career in Washington. And when you went there, you were traded for Champ Bailey. Which team won that trade?
I think it was a legendary trade. You know, it was me for Champ and a draft pick. So that draft pick turned out to be Tatum Bell. So Champ plus a second rounder is what Denver got in exchange for sending me to Washington. I think Washington appreciated me coming because when I got to Washington, it was like the Wild Wild West. And all of a sudden, to come together as a team, I get two of my former teammates and Sean Taylor and Santana Moss to come and join the band, and having LeVar Aronson and Marcus Washington, all the guys, Chris Samuels, all the guys that were already in Washington, having those guys and having that luxury, and everyone having the determination to change the organization because they hadn't won or hadn't been to the playoffs in quite some time, and we did it together.
Is it true that in Washington you would take a little sip of Hennessy before the games?
Yeah, but that's true. Like, I don't understand. If you're going out, right? If you're going out to have a good time,
yes,
you pregame, right?
Me personally, I might have a glass of rosé.
So that's your pregame, whatever it is. Would you have preferred me to say I took a glass of rosé?
No,
that
but
wasn't going to turn me up.
When I work out, if I have had even a glass of champagne the night before, let alone right before, I would be winded.
Yeah, but then
maybe
you
you're
run
different.
it out. But you say that when you work out, but
Yeah.
when you go out to party,
Yeah.
when you're going out to turn up with your girls, you're not winded. When you're dancing and you're sweating your hair out, you're not winded.
Okay, so you going on the field, you looked at that as like you were going out with the boys to party.
Well, it was a turn up, you know.
Turn up.
For me, it wasn't like I was getting drunk. It
Right.
was, we took one shot,
Yeah.
and that was just kind of, I wasn't taking Toradol shots.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing drugs. So it was more of, instead of taking a shot, I'm already in pain. I don't know a football player that's not in pain during the season, especially playing running back, where I'm getting 25 and 30 carries a game. So for me, it was kind of like this shot, and I'm going out to play. Like, this is going to take the pain away, or the fear, or whatever it was. Like, now it's time. So after I took that shot, it was like, okay, now it's time to go do this. Instead of going to lay down and take a Toradol shot, which all of a sudden comes out and it's hazardous to your health, it's dangerous for you, and all of this, like, I skipped that curve.